Hey, as promised, back again. This is Lady Q1502. You can follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and the Twitter. Also have two YouTube pages. One is 15 Lady Q1502. The other one is Truth Hurts, which more than likely this video will be on. It'll be on the Truth Hurts. It may or not be, or both. Who knows? Anyhow, red glasses on. You know what time it is. Let's get it cracking. So. We're back to surviving R. Kelly. I've already talked about Geronda Pace, and I've already talked about not Geronda Pace. Sorry, I've already talked about Andrea Kelly. I'm looking at my notes, by the way. I've already talked about Andrea Kelly, as well as talking about. Let's check some people off the list. Okay, I've already talked about Andrea Kelly, and I've already talked about Kitty Jackson. So now that we've gotten those two out the way. Let's talk about Joycelyn Savage and the Savage family. So, you sit your baby, okay? Now, I know she's 19. Don't get me wrong. You know, at 19, to a certain degree, you do have the power to kind of do what you want because you're technically you're grown. Mentally, you're not. But age-wise, you're grown, right? So y'all trying these parents, the Savage parents is trying to tell me like, oh, this is supposed to be a business deal, and I knew, I wanted to do business with R. Kelly because I knew that he would make my baby a star and he could take her where she needed to go. This is my problem with this whole situation. This is after you sent your kid to him after, okay, the allegations came out in 2000. After the allegations came out in 2008, when the trial started in 2008, and then the one allegations back in 2002. This is after all of that had happened. And you know what I kept hearing through this whole freaking video or this whole movie was he was acquitted of all charges. The law didn't find him guilty. No one said he was guilty. He was able to get let go. So we just thought that it was rumors and lies, even though the tape was out there. So everybody lying on R. Kelly. Everybody, are you serious? Like, is this what we're doing? So because he was acquitted, that means that he's innocent. We already know that the government can be bought. Are you kidding me? That's all they surface around is money. You what? So you sent your baby in good faith to this man to help develop this man. Really, Sway? Really? Really? Okay. So y'all trying to convince me that when I tell y'all, man, I was at my highest level of festivity yesterday. I stayed up watching these movies or these interviews until 7 o'clock in the morning. I legit stayed up till 7 o'clock. I could because I wanted to be able to do a video that was fair and in depth. And the only person, I will say again, the only person who knew how frustrated I was Regis and God. And that's just the honest to God truth. When I tell you I was so angry watching this yesterday, you sent your kid to him, and then not only did you send your kid to him, but then you want to get on TV with R. Kelly this, like, and then your daughter comes out with a video, with a rap about the situation, which was in poor taste because now it's looking like you trying to get fame any way you can. You sent your baby to R. Kelly and you ain't think she was gonna stay and you didn't get what you wanted. You didn't think it didn't go the way that you wanted it to go. Everybody who sent their kids to these people, they say one of three things. I got my little checklist here because I'm pulling this from the interviews. Okay. They said, we didn't know about the storm that was coming. Okay, that's one of them. We didn't know what was over the horizon. And we didn't know what type of storm was up ahead. Mark those off the checklist. You didn't know about the storm. You didn't know what's over the horizon. The same thing that's been over the damn horizon the whole time. Nothing has changed. How many reports that came out prior to the Savages? How many reports that came out prior to your kid going? Nobody did their research. Matter of fact, you didn't have to do the research because the video was enough. He sitting there peeing on a 14-year-old girl. Really? And then let's talk about that. Let's talk about Sparkle. You trying to tell me you ain't seen nothing? Now I will give her this. She said she was raised in a very strict household where you didn't spend nights over people's houses, you didn't do this, you didn't go nowhere alone, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Okay, perfect, great. So at first she said she was taking her niece down there. But what's up with your trifling brother? In your interview, you specifically said that your brother came to you and was like, "Oh man, I thought something was going on with her. I knew about it." So you knew and you still didn't say nothing? I will commend Sparkle for going to the police and saying, "Hey, this is what's happening to my niece." Blah 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 blah. I do commend her for that, but I don't think she ain't know. But I do think I don't think that she didn't have a feeling about it. I'll say that. I think Sparkle had a feeling about it, but I think that she dismissed the feelings. That's what I think. But I will say she basically was like, "Hey, she had red flags when she came to the studio one day. Her niece would be there before she got there." And she asking her niece, like, "What's going on? What's this? What's this? What's that?" Now, I do understand also that that's her niece. So she had limited power. But I do believe that her niece's family knew. I believe that Sparkle family knew. That girl, mommy and daddy, knew what was up. Because R.Kelly would be on the phone with her parents. And he was kind of lying and manipulating and making it seem a certain type of way. And Sparkle said that he had a big party at the house, and he was like, "Oh, we're gonna have a party at the house. Gonna be a bunch of kids there. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna do this, da 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 da." And she said, "What caught her strange? Like, what grown man has a party with a bunch of kids at the house?" But it was nothing that she could do because that's her niece, and it's essentially up to her parents. I will commend her for saying like, "Hey, when she found out, she did report it." I give her kudos for that. But I do feel like I think she feels guilty about knowing what happened or like having a feeling about something wasn't right and just not following her instincts. I do believe that she feels really guilty about that. And she said her family didn't talk to her for 10 years. Now let's stick on to that. Let's go to the trial with R. Kelly. When I tell you his crooked, I said, okay, I'm trying to do this without cussing. Because we all fall short, right? And I get so frustrated. Like when stuff like this happen, I'm so non-tolerant. Like I get angry quick. Like my fuse is short when it comes to stuff like this. So I'm gonna say this. When it comes to that situation, man, it's like his crooked lawyers were genius. They were genius in how they handled it. Like R. Kelly's allegations came out in 2000. And then another one came out in 2002. He was indicted in '02. He got out on a $750,000 bond, right? They drugged that out all the way through. It didn't even get to court until 2008. And this is what my opinion about it is. I think that the attorneys purposely drug those litigations out, drug it out, okay? Because by the time that Sparkle's niece would come to court, she would be grown. The jury said one thing. The jury said that was in fact R. Kelly in the video. But what they also said was they could not attest that it was Sparkle's niece in the video, and they could not attest to the age of the girl that was in the video. That's what the jury said. Even though she had coaches, police officers, other parents, friends of parents, they all came and testified that that was Sparkle in that video, Sparkle's niece in that video. And the jury still came out and said, we can't attest to the age, even though they testified about the age. the validity of the age of her niece at that time. And then what's crazy about it is Sparkle's brother came out and said, "Oh, that's not my niece in that video." Like, man, this whole situation is wild, bro. Like, when I tell you his crooked attorneys, they were genius in that. Because look, I mean, if you see the girl now from then, it's like, of course she don't look the same. She may have, like me, I look exactly the same as I did when I was 7 years old. Just fatter. Like, I look exactly the same. And some people don't. They do change and they do grow, and their features become a lot more different than it was. Now that we talked about that whole situation, man, this is a hot mess. This is a whole and a heck the hot mess. Homeboy, 21 counts of child pornography, and was acquitted in 2008. And then they came back and it dropped down. At first, he was originally charged with 21 counts. By the time it hit court, they dropped it down to 14 counts. And then you come back 2 years, because it started in 2000. You come back in 2 years, and then you get in trouble for more child pornography, for having still photos. So you still ain't learned your lesson. The role manager did the interview. His former role manager did the interview, and in the interview he said, "Man, I keep videotaping. Man. I know it's gonna get me in trouble. And then one of the girls who R.Kelly groomed, she could barely make it through the interview because she was crying so bad. She was like 17 years old. He was making her do stuff with young girls. She could barely talk about it. And she said that how the sex tape got out was she leaked it. She took the tape out his bag. He didn't even notice it was gone. And she put it up, gave it to one of her friends, I think, who was a staff member there. Gave it to one of her friends, and the friend ended up leaking it. Somebody got a hold to it, and that's how the copies were produced. And that's how everybody around the world saw it. She said she had death threats on her life because of it. She said that R.Kelly had a meeting with the guy who had the tape, paid him some money, and said, "Hey, if you bring me the rest of the tape, you'll get the rest of this money." Right? And all still, not we, because I don't support that. I don't support him. But all that time, you go on. I'm checking out some of my notes, y'all. All that time you going around, you still selling out shows. Our community, we so stupid. We still supporting this bum, even though he's into all that. But I will tell you this, even as a young girl, when his albums came out, like 12 Play and all that, even then I had a funny feeling about it. You know what I mean? Like, those songs just didn't sit well with me, even as a kid. I can honestly tell you, I've never bought not one single R.Kelly record, and I've never downloaded any type of R.Kelly songs. I've heard them. Everybody was made to sing "I Believe I Could Fly" in the 5th grade. And the songs that I did like from R.Kelly were more inspirational songs. "I Believe I Could Fly" was one. He did a song with him and Celine Dion. And I think those are the only two that I really actually liked. All That Stepping in Lane with Love, I didn't really care for none of them songs. I just couldn't get with it. It just wasn't my thing. I couldn't get with it. TP2 and all them, everybody was playing it. I just didn't care for it. But I was a different type of kid too, so. But yeah, this whole situation is a hot mess. Geronda Pace, that's the one girl that I'm upset about, and I'm going to do about the video about that in a few minutes.